Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Clay Township Board on Tuesday, February 23rd, 2016. We're going to call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. And first up is Pledge Allegiance. Mary?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up on our agenda is something new for 2016, and we'll carry forward. Recognition of outstanding citizens by the Township Board and the trustee. This award was a brainchild of Doug to represent, or to, of Doug and Mary, excuse me.
Well, if you've been to the city council meeting, they have that in theirs, and I'm thinking, you know, we're a governmental agency. Why shouldn't we be doing this stuff? So basically, it's not going to be there. I mean, it's not going to have somebody every meeting that we're going to recognize. But tonight we have a couple that we're going to recognize. One from the Parks Board and one from the Waste District Board. And I will let Mr. President bring them up one at a time and make that presentation to them.
If Mrs. Lamb could come up, please. Barb, this is for you, for your service on the Regional Waste Board from 2011 until 2015. And we'd like to present you, and we thank you for all the contributions you've made to Clay Township and its residents. Thank you, Barb. And Ms. Hanson. Donna, thank you for all of your contribution to the Parks Board over the last several years. You've been a great asset to the Parks Department and to Clay Township, and we thank you.
And I'd just like to say that the board and I appoint people to the Waste District Board and the Parks Board and the Carmel Ethics Committee. And these are thankless positions that these people hold. So this is a little something that we give to them, that we're starting to give to them anytime they go off the board. And hopefully we'll bring them back later too. Don't tell them that though. Thank you.
Next up is approval of minutes. We've got several meetings to approve. From the December 15th meeting, do we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
And I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Carries. Minutes from January 5th meeting, organizational board meeting.
I make a motion to accept the organizational meeting.
And I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
January 26th annual report board meeting.
So moved for approval.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Carries. Do we have anybody in the public, any public comments this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to action items. Disbursement of grant funds to community groups for 2016 and to sign their agreements. Mary?
The way this is going to work is, in order to get your check, you have to sign a paper. So I have the money, but he will have the papers. And as we call you, if you'd come up and sign, we'd appreciate it. We know that the Indianapolis Interfaith Hospitality Network is already signed, but could we have their representative please present the check?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Carmel United Methodist Church.
What about day of the month?
No, you don't have to. Just signature. You're so quiet. Cheer. This is a happy occasion.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
NAMI Indianapolis. Looks like I get to keep the money. Gleaners Food Bank.
Here you are, sir. Robert, Paul, nice to meet you.
And you're welcome to leave whenever you get your check if you want to.
I'll only judge you slightly.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
Oh.
Thank you so much. That's my pen. Hey, you get the money, but not the pen, my friend.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you so much. It's so great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Booth Tarkington Civic Fair.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oops, there you go. Carmel Community Players. Goodness, another one.
He's coming. He's coming.
Oh, okay. We could bring it back to him. Good. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It'll be tough to get to you, but
We can make it happen.
thanks. Thank you very much. Thanks, Terry.
Congratulations. Chelsea's Place.
Switch seats for today. That's right.
It's a lot of codicils on there. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thanks, Toby.
Carmel Fire Auxiliary.
There you go. Probably forgot.
By the way, we're delighted to be able to give something back to the community. We're glad that you're all here today to receive it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Trinity Free Clinic.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Carmel Clay Public Library.
Thank you.
Carmel Sister Cities. Have to sign down there, Charlie.
Hey, you guys can't leave. I said anybody else. Oh, I'm sorry, you better go do your work.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you. You're welcome.
Mr. Scott, thank you.
Thanks, Charlie. Congratulations. Carmel Junior Senior High School Exchange.
Not in one place.
Nice to see you.
Congratulations. You're welcome.
Really?
Excellent.
We wanted to really thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you.
Great
Congratulations.
We're
news.
glad we could do it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Carmel Clay Historical Society. Just a minute, it's stuck.
Congratulations. You're welcome.
Thank you, Eddie.
Meals on Wheels.
You're welcome. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Prevail.
Oh, no, no, no.
Hello. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hamilton County Economic Development. While he's signing, I just wanted to say, we encourage you all to come to our meetings during the year. Congratulations. And bring us up to date on what you're doing. There's a television camera here at all of our meetings that gives you a chance to let the community know what you're doing. And always during the public comments, you're welcome to come and have something to say. Carmel Dads Club.
Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome. Give me that pen.
Thank you.
You dirty dog.
Janus.
Paul, take care.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Don't forget your check. I said I'd keep it, but I didn't mean it. Prime Life.
I seen your advertisement on 59 the other morning.
Yeah, that was.
Nice, very nice,
There
yeah.
were 3 spots they ran that day. That
Oh,
one
really?
was live, and then they ran 2 more.
Yeah, 59, they're doing fire departments this week. They're
Yeah,
up here
saw
at
that.
Carmel, and I think
Yeah.
they walked across the street to Prime Life and did a little clip on them too.
What we need is to have a calendar with everybody in here on it.
Mhm.
But I like the firemen.
Those are great shoes, by the way.
Yeah.
Those are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope you all know that none of us can do everything we do without your support.
Well,
Well, that's nice to say.
you
Thanks,
put it to
Sam.
good use.
It's absolutely true.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
Hamilton County Leadership Academy.
See ya.
Thank you.
That's it.
Hello there. You're very welcome.
Well, that is all of them. Thank you guys for coming out. The things that you guys are welcome to leave. The things left on our agenda is a fire construction project update, and Cindy Benedict for Indy Connect's going to speak about the mass transit. I do want to point out, I'm going to make a plug for something else. Next Tuesday at 6:30 at the Monon Community Center, your Carmel Clay GOP club, which, love it or not, is the political party here in Carmel, is hosting their annual chili supper. And it's a great opportunity for groups that are ingrained in the society like you are to meet all of the candidates, all of the your current elected officials and possibly future elected officials. So it would encourage you all to come. I would really welcome you all to show up at the Monon Center at 6:30 next Tuesday to kind of share what you guys do and your missions with your elected officials. With that, I thank you all for coming.
You're welcome to stay. We're not trying to throw you out.
I know Ann will. Ann will stay. I know Ann will.
Well, I don't see John Barbie as.
No, she just texted me, says, what meeting? I gave him a list of all of our meetings for the year, and it blew by him. So the only thing I would say, I know some of you do keep up with it, but I know that I was out there today at the training and maintenance facility, and I see it's enclosed, most part of it, except for the doors aren't up and part of the roof's not on, but they're moving along with that. It's pretty good. 43s is pretty well wrapped up. 44s is, of course, they are beginning to work on the inside of that. I think they have the face work of the bricks and stuff on for that station yet to do. But for the most part, the inside is what's going to take so long, and that's probably why they won't get it done until June or July. So, but if you guys or anybody wants to stop and check it out, feel free to. They're doing a great job as far as communicating with us. I will tell you that. And Envoy and Axis, Axis is our architect. They're doing a great job and really going over things with us, and we have some issues at times, but we do get them cleared up. And that's the important thing. What's really amazing between the two stations we're doing out, on the east side compared to where we did the west side.
Oh, yeah.
Judy Hagan was the trustee, and I was the fire chief at the time, and it just seemed like we had so much more issues when we did stations out west. It just seemed like one thing after another, and it's really a nice thing, and that's the reason I wanted John Barbie, or I wanted to see him to help us because of what I ran into out west here. So So it's going very well, and I know John will call me later and say, I'm sorry. So, but anyway, he will be here. I'll make sure he's here next month. Okay?
I went on a tour with 3 of the chiefs a week and a half ago, and we went into 43 and went out and, 44 changes every day, just simply because there's so much being done. And then we went out to the training center, and it really is interesting because Chief Orby is in there right with the hammer. I mean, he knows exactly where everything goes, goes back in and says, I think we could change this or do that. I'm really impressed. The group that I was with, we had a chance to go upstairs and downstairs and into the different cubby holes in the fire station where all the changes were made. It was really thrilling. I'm so proud that we are involved in that part. And maybe, was he involved when you were doing the stations on the west? Yeah, I mean, he's a treasure.
No.
He knows so much about construction, and he says, wait a minute.
Well, yeah, he does
I
a lot of
can do
construction
this."
work
Oh,
on his days
my.
off, yeah.
Yeah, really. They all were very knowledgeable. It was a great tour, and it certainly does show that our money's being spent well.
Thank you.
Another department under the purview of the township I want to read onto the record here is the Parks Department, that we are also funding some construction projects on. Central Park West is under construction, total reconstruction of the whole west side of Central Park with playground and splash pad and all of that. That's under construction and going well. That should open right before Memorial Day. And then also what the Parks is doing, which is kind of unheard of around the country, and they're kind of spearheading this initiative, is West Park. That was just donated a bunch of land from the Perlman family, bringing that park up to about 180 acres of clean slate. And the Parks Department right now is going through community involvement, and there's a meeting tonight, and there's going to be a meeting every month for the next 3 months. In that park, what happens to that park is 100% going to be based on community input.
Yeah.
So I would encourage everybody to hop on the park's website, there's a website just for West Park where you can put your ideas in, what you don't want to see, what you do want to see, and hopefully we can break ground on something next year on West Park with the new land that's been donated.
The thing I'm the happiest about is there's finally going to be a playground near the Monon Center off of College, and I've been for that for so many years because I'd never seen a park without playgrounds and different kinds of equipments and sandboxes, and it just wasn't there, but now it's going to be, and I think it's a real great addition.
Point of fact, Mary, the first piece of playground equipment was put in today.
I knew it was going to because I talked with Mark Westemeyer the other day.
What was it?
It's just the base for the tower. It's going to be about 30 feet tall. It's going to be a big playground.
Something I was talking to Michael about, and I thought it was really interesting. I mean, the way they think there at the parks. I mean, I'm not quite the thinker they are, but when it comes to parks, but he was telling me that they're at Central Park on the playground area. They're going to have a place where autistic kids can go to get away from
Oh, that's great.
the groups. Autistic kids like to get away and be by themselves at times, and they're going to. He says it's not that it's off guard for everybody else, but at least they have a place where they can go, to be by themselves at times, which I thought was, great thinking on their part to do something like that. So.
Cindy Benedict.
Hey, so wanted to make sure you guys had the handouts that were sent in advance, because if not, we've got some extras. And I don't know if anyone in the audience would like them, but we've got some here for you too. I am really grateful tonight to be here.
We need you on the microphone when you're talking, please.
Cool. I am extremely short. There. Really grateful to be here tonight, so thank you so much for this opportunity. I am a Carmel resident for 10 years. I am the convener of the Hamilton County Transit Forum, and I work for Indy Connect. And I am joined by Mike Hollabaugh, who I'm sure you all know is Community Service Director. But he also is on the Hamilton County Transit Forum, and he was the chair of the Route Design Subcommittee. So he's going to help me answer questions. Tonight is designed to be very informal. We are going around to elected officials and briefing them on the state of transit. So we're here to let you know what's happening, because there's a lot going on in the paper and you might want to know more. Answer your questions and get any of your feedback. So it isn't a really structured thing. I'm going to give you some update stuff, but you should feel free to interrupt me with questions whenever they occur to you, so we can get them answered right when that happens. Before we get into the handout that was given to you in advance, I wanted to give you a little bit of overview on a couple of things. First of all, what is Indy Connect? You've probably heard lots of different Indy things, right? And what does that all look like and feel like? Indy Connect itself is a partnership with CERTA, which is the Central Indiana Regional Transportation Authority. It's a quasi-government agency designated by the state to worry about transit for our region. The other partner is the MPO, which is the Metropolitan Planning Organization. It's the group that worries about how we spend federal dollars on transportation. And finally, Indigo, which is the transit provider for Marion County. This partnership has created to make sure we have sane, smart, and sensible transit for Central Indiana. And they have created the Indy Connect plan. And what that is a multi-county regional vision of how we could have good transit. But within that, there is a specific plan for each county. So there's a Marion County Transit Plan, a Hamilton County Transit Plan, and as this progresses, there will be county plans that are unique, that meet the needs of that county as part of this big regional vision. So does that make sense? Okay, cool. Now, to make it really complicated, within each of those county plans, there are mini plans dealing with routes. So you've probably been reading a lot about the red line, which we're going to talk about. That has its own plan that's very specific about where there are turns on the routes, and it gets a lot of its own community input. So there's plans within plans within plans. The big thing, though, is that we're all working together to make sure they are interconnected, that they're smart, and that we use our transit investment as best we can. So that's one piece I wanted everybody to understand. And the next piece is the legislation, which got this whole ball rolling. So in the spring of 2014, the state of Indiana, for the first time, passed enabling legislation for a stable funding source for mass transit just within Central Indiana. And it's via a referendum process. So counties decide if they want to certify a referendum where we ask residents if they're willing to have an income tax. So this is very community engagement related. The residents are the ones that are going to get to decide if they want to allocate an income tax for mass transit. That rate is going to end up being 25 cents per $100 of earned income. It is county-based, so every county does their own shtick. They have their own referendum. The dollars raised within that county stay within that county. For connectivity, counties get to negotiate with themselves along the border with interlocal agreements. Okay. The bill also has a lot of nuances in it, so I'm going to try to stay kind of high level on it. But it also has a mechanism where Marion County has to start the ball rolling. There is no county in Central Indiana that can have a referendum